Pleased to meet ya.
Into the spooky trial, putting it off. It's gonna be great. Heck yes. Power 25, I got this. Alright.
By the Arch-Illager's decree, a caravan is transporting villager prisoners to labor in far-off lands. Find the caravan and stop the Illagers. There is no telling what dreadful doom will befall us.
Let's try some Ninjala. Do that. That. It is square. Why is square? What is happening? There you go. There's some relaxing. Relaxing. I don't gotta worry about nothing. Okay. Great. Perfect. We got the little island thing. Good. Yeah. What is happening? Come on! Going to bed. Going to bed.
You probably shouldn't laugh anymore.
Normally, I would start this part of the show with a big long speech talking about all the deep intellectual topics that we're going to discuss this evening. But I realized after watching this video that no words that I could come up with could possibly convey the trauma that all of us have been through, all of us have experienced, that has affected us all deeply on many levels. And poor Drew, as you can see, has had to experience it worse than any of us.
So I was really, really excited to play it. And I get about, I don't know, I thought it was 4 hours because that's how long it felt to me at that point in time. And it was only an hour and a half of the game, I come to find out later. I met TIdus and Riku, and between their inflections on what they got in front of them as actors and just the storyline as a whole, it did not pull me in, and I gave up. I was like, this is not for me. I'm okay with it. And then like down the line, I started seeing the laughing memes, and I'm like really happy that I dodged that bullet. And then fast forward to now this journey that I'm on with the show. And I was like, all right, I really want to play Final Fantasy. It's the end of the year. It's about that time. Because I tend to play a Final Fantasy or a Legend of Zelda at the end of every year around November, December, because it feels right to me. And so I gave the option for 8, 10, or 12. I was secretly hoping for 8 because I really want to beat that one. And of course, everybody picked 10 because they realized how much I hated TIdus.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, the Beardies love to torture me, but it was a lot of fun. I ended up enjoying the game a lot more than I thought I would. I ended up being able to tolerate TIdus to the point where we have a friend of the show, Megabyte. I released a YouTube video with a monologue that he wrote defending TIdus and defending Riku. And he broke down the timeline of the span of time that TIdus had been going through being mere days. I was like, okay, all right. Like, I understand you traveled 1,000 years into the future, this future that you had no idea, and you're not real. But all that
Just to add
information in
on
a few
top of the
days-
pile of drama, you also don't
Yeah.
actually exist.
Yeah. It's like when there was a point in my playthrough where I was like, oh no, I'm the dick. I'm the dick. I'm the jerk. Oh no, what have I done? This entire time just yelling my diatribe at this man that's not even real. Like, on top of not being a real person, he's just not real in general. And I'm like, what have I done? This is everything I stand against as a person. What am I doing with my life? Of course, I continued to give TIdus crap the rest of the playthrough, but that's neither here nor
It's
there.
like in for a penny, in for a pound, right? It's like you've already started. You might as well commit. I won't lie, in the entire 2 years I've been doing this, we've had lots of really deep, important intellectual discussions. But the one thing I've wanted to talk about more than anything else, like the history of discourse and conversation, is why that TIdus laughing scene is completely understood by basically everybody.
It is a sweet moment between TIdus and Yuna, and I will give them that. I just think between what the internet is and how it was executed, it was just a recipe for disaster. We kind of touched on it earlier today and earlier in our conversations before, but the technology had it was on the newer side of things. And I just think it was just poor timing. They tried real hard and it was not executed properly, because that laugh will forever haunt me and everybody else's dreams.
The whole point of that scene is it's supposed to be forced. It's supposed to be awkward. TIdus, people take that scene out of context and think he's just laughing, and it's just really bad acting.
Well, I knew it was just the laughing. The laughing is the joke part. But as far as it being forced, I kind of looked into it at the point they are in their lives, right? Because they're both very, very young. They don't know anything, especially in regards to love. When we're 17 or 18, however old they are, we have this idea of what love is supposed to be and falling in love and that whole entire thing. And they're kind of exploring that aspect of it as well. So as much as I gave that game hell the entire playthrough, I can take a step back and appreciate the level of conversation that they were trying to have in a very real way at that point in both their lives. Because they're both, it's so strange, right? If you really break down what each of the characters are going through, especially up to that moment, it's a lot. It's a lot. TIdus is finding out okay, I'm 1,000 years in the future. I don't know where I am. Xanarkin is dead, and I'm a kid, and all I know is sports, this sports ball thing. And then Yuna's I'm tasked with saving the world, and I send things, and there's this religion that I fully believe in, but I keep running into people that are telling me one thing, and I have a whole group of posse with different personalities with their own take on everything, what I should be doing. They're just trying to protect. It's a lot. Yuna's, especially her journey, it's a lot for anybody.
Yuna,
and for her to have that much weight on her shoulders, it's a lot of pressure. I was expecting Kimari or oh my gosh, Lulu to fill that role. But in actuality, it was Yuna, wholeheartedly.
In retrospect, now 20 years later, people actually see that game actually had a good message that it was actually trying to tell, the influence of irresponsible religion, forced doctrine, and sacrificing for people that you shouldn't really have to. And it's heavy stuff. I'll take that over Snow and Snow and Lightning and Hope any day.
Yeah, it was literally watching cardboard. It was it was such a non-memorable game. The only thing I remember is how much I just wanted to finish it, because at that point in my gaming history, I was well, now I started this, and it's for me a bad novel. I have to finish it because I can't just leave it unread, and it was not worth the payoff.
Itself.
Yeah, no, not at all. After I found out everything I learned about TIdus, I was I looked at everything in a new light. I still gave him crap, obviously, for the integrity of the show and what I was
Because
trying.
he's TIdus,
I was trying to entertain the people.
His clothing choices alone are enough reason to give him crap.
Oh, you know who was also a surprise in 10? Waka. Because I thought he was this silly, like, he's going to be like the funny man of the entire thing. But then on the latter half of that game, when he turned serious and he was like, no, this is everything that I've believed in my entire life. What do you mean everything has to change? And like, I don't want to kill Seymour, but like, I can't support what he's doing. I'm like, so for as much crap as I gave Waka, I was like, oh, this is legitimately turning his entire life upside down.
Viewpoint is being turned upside down.
Yeah, and just like taking a step back and now and being outside of the gameplay experience, I would actually love to sit there and really absorb everything that I did go through and learn with all of those characters, because I feel like a second time around, I'm going to digest a whole lot more. Absolutely. Because when we stream games, like you lose a part of that aspect in the game because your attention is split in so many different ways. And so I just feel like, especially for story-heavy games, if you want to fully comprehend what you're being told, you've got to take some time off the show and play through it.
Honestly, I still go back and play it every now and then, and there is always something that will still gut punch me to this day. Like, there is so much subtlety that you don't pick up on, like the first, second, third time around. It's like, Drew, when you got there, did you manage to actually obtain Anima as an Aeon? Did you get the backstory?
I was made to. Yes, I did. Yeah. And like the level of mind bending that I experienced, and like the explanation that I had learned, I'm like, this entire thing, and then that whole scene when you're like journeying. I can't remember the area. It's the darker area right before the elevator that you need to go up, and you see all of the memories of the folks that came before you, and you see young Seymour. I was dead. I was like, I can't handle this right now, but I'm gonna have to. But it was amazing. Like, in hindsight, I have nothing but great things to say about the game as a whole. And I'm really happy that I was made to play it, because for all intents and purposes, I was made to play that game. I would have never picked up that game and be like, I'm going to play Final Fantasy X today. Never in my life.
Most important question, though. Are you going to play Final Fantasy X too?
I am. I'm really excited about it.
So you are definitely going into 10-2.
Yes, I'm going to play 10-2. I'm very, very excited about 10-2 because I swore off that game. Like, I didn't even give it a chance when it was first released, because I was a huge Final Fantasy nut at that point in my gaming history. And everybody I talked to, they were like, oh, no, we can't play Final Fantasy X-2. It's like, it poops on the series. Like the Spice Girls girl group, blah. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not going to like that, because obviously I'm influenced by others at this point in my life, and I'm not going to have a mind of my own. And I was made to watch, not made, because I really was curious at this point. I was asked to watch it as my reaction live, because we watched after the calm a little bit later. But right after we finished 10, they were like, watch the intro to 10-2 and tell us if you're going to play it. And naturally, it hit everything that I've ever loved in my entire life. You have singing, you have dancing, you have like strong, powerful women being secret agents and kicking booty. And I'm like, why did I wait this long? Why? What is wrong with me? And so I got really, really excited and really amped up. And I cannot wait to play that game. It's on the docket, but I have to get through so much stuff.
Like, everyone has such a rich story and a rich arc. And yeah, well, as you were saying before, like some of the things that they hit on, like it's still relevant 20 years on.
Hey there, beautiful people. Thanks for reaching the end of the episode. If you're listening to this, please do consider checking us out on Patreon, as well as dropping a follow and a like here. Also, check us out on Twitch, where you can be directly involved in these discussions face to face with me. We can have some nice, deep conversations about all the different things that we discuss here on this channel. Take care of yourselves. Stay beautiful.